The Property Lane.
Welcome to The Property Lane, where it's everything real estate. Once again, we are still here at Akright City project. We continue the story, the success story of organized living and the first ever successfully built city here in Kampala, Uganda, East Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, we are still with our guest, Mr. Anatoli Kamugisha. Please say hi to our viewers.
Welcome viewers. Thanks for watching UBC and also watching this program. I think there is a lot to share and also to know about Akright City.
Yes, Mr. Anatoli. Last time when we broke off, you were still telling us about the challenges of running and planning a city like this. For those who were not with us last time, Akright City is sitting on 1,280 acres and has 12 villages, each village having around 300 to 400 homes. I think you and I agree that's so far the largest estate, if you call it that, but I call it a city because he explained to us what a city is and what a city should entail and what makes it a city. For those who want to know, please check on our YouTube to see where we ended last time. But yes, Mr. Anatoli,
Yes.
you were telling us the challenges you went through starting this project.
So there have been a lot of challenges in buying land, and also land having so many issues regarding ownership.
Yes.
You buy land, then you find somebody is an administrator of the estate. After buying it, now paying him the money at the transfer of the title, some other people comes and puts a caveat on the land and they say, we never allowed the administrator to sell the land. We, the beneficiary, were not told, we were not informed. Then another thing, some other people, after buying land, they connive with the family and they come and say, we were good and pay. So you are bought here. Then you go into the wrangles here and there. Then others buy the land. You buy the land. After buying the land, then you find that some of the land is fake titles. Then some people bring titles.
Mentioning what we normally go through.
So you find it's a fake title, but you have already paid, and again you are adding to the project. And you know, a project shouldn't have such a kind of issues. The moment it gets such issues, it distorts the whole trust. Because a business is all about a trust. People must be able to trust it. So the moment you start getting those issues, then trust drops. So to manage a project when people's trust has gone down because of those legal issues, and you can't explain to them, you are the one to suffer and the client must be protected. So now you buy land, you find somebody comes and says, me, I am a Chibanja person. You say Chibanja where? He said, we're here some time back, then we shifted somewhere, then I've come back, this way originally our Chibanja. He said, but I didn't, when I was buying here, I didn't see any Chibanja here, I'm the owner of the title. He said, no, you were title, but for me, I own a Chibanja. Even they come at night, they dig and they put a banana stem and they bury and they say it's a burial ground when actually it's not. So all those fake things come. So land in Uganda has been a bigger problem, actually a very big setback for any investor. I am sure about 60% of Uganda's investors are frustrated by land issues, land transactions. People come with good intentions, but land frustrates them and they go back. So now, we also suffered that. Don't think we just bought land, it was easy to buy. No. We are buying all the time.
I thought because you are giving them 10 acres for 1 acre, that should have been losses. Very easy.
You lose here, you compensate here, you do here, until you achieve what you... That's why now we stopped expanding. We would now be in 3,000 acres, but now we couldn't go further because we said, no, enough is enough. Let's stop where we have reached. At least this will give us enough of our dream. Because we wanted to have a reasonable piece of land to make sure that they can give us a city.
Okay.
So, and that's it. So another problem, of course, the problem is about lack of staff. Remember when you started real estate?
Yes.
There was no train. There was nobody trained as a real estate.
Thanks to area Uganda
so,
that has
so
managed
now,
to...
for that matter, for us, we had to pick people on the street from the university. Then we train them in our own way for us to be able to. Remember, we who are training them are not real estate. What we are not. That was not our profession. But because we loved something, we had a passion, we had the ideas of business, so we had to bring the people, package them, and so it is out of that actual area Uganda was born by ourselves.
Yes,
because
I
you remember some of the students were born from our project, and they were doing a lot of internship from our project. And actually, you know, when Agaba came from Netherlands, when he reached here, he said, we can't allow to continue doing like this without a training, without a course in real estate. Actually, the one who initiated it from our project.
Yes.
So you can see, but for us, we started when there was completely no knowledge about real estate. But we maneuvered, we tried here and there and there. Then also finance.
Yeah.
This is the capital.
I thought that would be your number one.
That is, of course, that is the capital intensive. Remember, such a project requires money from World Bank. But we couldn't get money from World Bank, though we got some money from other development banks. I also went to World Bank, of course, to look for the money, but they said they don't give money to individuals. They give to the government. But we also used it to make sure they use other banks to raise money here. You remember when we went to World Bank and they referred it to IFC in Nairobi?
Yes.
IFC is an arm of World Bank. Then they created, they came and visited us here. We told them we need money. We justified the cause why we need some construction funding and mortgage financing here. They raised a bond of $100 million. This money was brought here and was distributed in all these banks here. All these banks you see here.
So when you went,
yes,
they gave the money to the banks.
Yeah, for them,
not to your project.
Not to us. But we are the people who initiated it from the what? We are the people who mobilized it, who persuaded them to come and invest here. So they brought this money. It was given to all these banks here, and 5 banks started the mortgage at a go. This was Stanbic, Standard Chartered Bank, Barclays, DFCU, and Housing Finance.
Okay.
That's how they got the money. You ask them how did they get the money for mortgage. That's how they got the money for mortgage.
Wow.
So now real estate started now coming. But for us, the biggest challenge was that there was no construction funding, there was no mortgage financing in the whole country. Now we are building when we're waiting for people who would need to buy cash, would be people from diaspora. People in Uganda here, they couldn't buy because they couldn't manage to have cash at a go.
Yes.
So we had those problems. Then we would start now packaging, saying we can sell you a house, but at a level of a foundation.
When do you get to start selling houses? Because from last time, it was all land. Well-planned land and plots with roads and
what happens like this? What happens like this? People, we had to package all the products. These are the products. One was site and service. That is a plot, a service plot. Point number 2 was a foundation. A plot and a foundation. Another one was a complete house. Then another one was a customized house. That's a virtual house. You buy a house when it's not there, but you buy it from the nene. Then we agree, then for us after that, then we come and build to a turnkey, what we call a turnkey. So those were the products. You can see how we structured them.
Yes.
And every segment had its own clients. That's how we managed to bring,
In just a minute,
yes.
How is community life different from living alone? Because most Ugandans were used to being alone.
Yes.
I buy my plot somewhere in Nakasongola, I live alone, build my mansion, and now you're bringing me to this organized
what happened
living.
that the reason why we wanted the city and the reason why we created those villages and the leadership was to make sure all of them have one interest and the common standards. We want all the houses to be Mategura. We want all the Mategura. We want when you are building house, you bring this village, you bring this village. And every village has got its own character. Then we have what you call a general meeting for all the community or at the end of the year. And then we discuss the leadership. And then you change the leadership to another leadership. So in all those things created the community to be one and to have to own. And at the end of the day, for us in 2017, we handed over the project to the community to run it because we were the one running it, but thereafter we said, let the community run, let the community run the project.
Thank you so much,
Yes.
Mr. Anatoli. We are coming back.
Yes, okay.
We need to take a short break and we will be right back. Welcome back from the very short break. I know you're excited as I am to hear the rest of the story. As we come back, Mr. Anatoli.
Yes.
Yes, you are telling us the difference between living alone and living in a community. As I am still chewing on that, what would you do differently if you were to do this again?
Wow, that's if I am, what would
what would you do differently?
Yes.
If you're to do this again, like lessons learned from
now
your first project.
Now,
yes.
If I am to do
a city,
another city,
yes, because I know you have other projects.
I will not do it different, so much different from this one, but I would also improve on the mistakes. I would carry on what I used, but I would try to avoid the mistakes because it is only the mistakes.
Like what key lessons do you pick from this first project?
One, I would make sure I organize financing properly.
Okay.
I would make sure that I would not stress the project. Like this project was financially stressed because we borrowed money from about so many banks, small money and commercial loans, not development loans, but commercial loans. So it is the commercial loans that manage, that developed this estate, this city. But if I'm to do it different, then I would package it properly with development loans, and I would also be able to get some big partners,
okay,
so that I make it easy, because it was difficult for us to do it single-handedly with commercial loans, borrowing everywhere, like UPC.
No one came in to give you a joint venture.
So yeah, of course we tried very many joint ventures, but some of the people who were coming in as joint ventures were not, when they were not reliable people. They would come, they do like this, and they frustrate you. So I would make sure I organize resources first. Two, I would make sure I first procure land, and before I announce, after procuring the land,
before you announce the plan,
because I've seen when you announce the plan, when you are procuring land while you are on a project, it increases, it inflates the prices, and also it brings in very many fake people.
Okay.
And some people will come and frustrate you. And first, then I launch the project when I am properly organized.
Okay.
Point number two, I would make sure I have a team, people who are already who have studied real estate, who have done this. So I have all that kind of stuff. Point number three, I would become very tough than I used to be. This kind of compromise or what,
You will not give big discounts.
I would be very tough with whoever, because I've seen at times when it becomes simple and what become good, it is also a disadvantage to the project. So another thing, I would make sure I wouldn't do anything without a government.
I was waiting for that.
I would make sure that everything government is there. The government is there or not there. Forget about that. But you see, the government is the biggest consumer, is the biggest market.
How did you make all the roads, the infrastructure,
of course,
the
with
water,
the
power,
government,
without government?
But they joined us later when we have suffered, yes.
Okay.
They joined us later when we have spent a lot of money, when we have suffered. But if at all we started with them, the project would have been very much successful. We would have delivered it faster than we need. So I wouldn't do anything without the government being a part. I would package. The government is available, but of course, when we were starting, for us, we lacked that experience of how do you package a government in your project. But now I know how to package a government in your project. So now, don't do a bigger project before you involve a government, and you team up with the government, and subject your loyalty to the government. Make sure you run away. Don't be anywhere near politics, because you join politics at your own risk. So be loyal to the government and be
political interference. Impact.
Yes.
How have the people that bought into this benefited, but also economic impact on a large scale?
The impact is enormous. That is what I want to tell you, and what I can advise is that, let me tell you, the power of master physical development plan. When you develop on something that is already planned, it is very, the impact is very enormous. Because one, the planning exposes the hidden resources. Okay. There are resources which are already hidden there, but when you plan properly, all those resources, you can see them. You start seeing the visibility.
Yes.
Two, when you plan and when you do it, when you plan it properly, it brings in, it creates a lot of opportunities, and it means attracts very many people, very many buyers, many investors. Take an example. When we planned properly like this, we managed to get people who could come and put up a factory. Like, you know, Pepsi Cola now they put a factory here.
I see even ham villas.
Now, when we planned properly, didn't we get ham putting up all those villas you see, or the White House? All those are in Akright City.
Yes.
Because of master planning. So when you plan properly and put everything properly, then it attracts, it creates a lot of opportunities, and you know, investors want to exploit the opportunities. So that's why it's very, very important. Take an example. Because of planning this place, we have transformed the neighborhood.
Yeah.
All these areas around us, they have all just come up with a lot of. So now you can see now, because of planning, that's why many people have come. You see, when you see here, so and so, that kind of class of people. And also you can see the activities here. And let me tell you, here as we talk now, has become a center of innovation. Yeah. So many things that have been innovated. Do you know Covidex was produced here?
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, you would go first see the number Covidex. It was produced in what, you know, it was produced at Walnut, house number 3 in Akright City. Yes, Walnut, house number 3 in Akright City. Now, guess what? Then we are now on our applications. There are so many apps. We have produced also Wango as an application. Okay. So if people who are looking for jobs, better register on Wango. This Wango as an application has been born by Akright community here, and very many applications that have been made, have been produced here, and many other things that are being produced here. You know, when you do this, it's produced in Akright. When you do this, it's produced in Akright. So Akright, now we are producers, we are innovators. You know, so
are there lessons for our city, Kampala? That we
yes,
can pick
they must come and learn. First of all, what
can it be organized, or it's too late?
Yeah, Kampala, yes, you can organize. Take an example. Kampala now, you don't need to organize empty land. No, you need to organize slums. Get slums where they are, package them properly. Now what you do, put up condominium apartments and create space.
Yeah.
You know, people who are squatters who are occupying 10 acres. When you do condominium, they will occupy 1 acre. Which means
it's not even an acre.
Then it means 9 acres will be free. Yes. So those free 9 acres, you can use them for other things, like into from squatters, which are low cost, and then you go into middle class, then from middle class, then into high class. You know, 3 classes of people need to stay each other.
Yes.
The rich man needs a middleman. A middleman requires whatever. And they all
and the
support each other.
Earner needs a job from
needs a job from a rich man, and also so they all have to live in like a triangle. All those 3 classes of people, natural. If it is to be a stable community, you must have 3 people staying together, but in a pattern or in a zoned area. You get me? This is a rich man, whatever class. This is a middle, and this is whatever. But they all must use facilities together and be closer to each other, because each one supports the other.
That explains why behind every high-end or rich man's area there is a slum.
Yes, right? A slum. Because a rich man cannot survive without this a poor man. And a poor man also cannot survive without a rich man. So somehow they must have a way. But what is important is how you package them properly. Okay. That even if you are of a low class, but you can be a low class, but in an organized manner.
As we come to the end of this show, I would want to know, can this be replicated elsewhere?
Yes, very true.
The Akright City
if we managed to do this when we didn't have example where we could benchmark. Now, what about now this one is already there? It is very easy now to go and benchmark on Akright and produce another city.
Are you doing that?
Yeah, of course, many people want franchise. People are coming in to buy franchise. Someone in Arua wanted a franchise, another one in Mbarara. We are soon working out on documentation. Those who want to go and build Akright City as a franchise, we can give.
Oh.
Because, yeah, we standardize, we keep on supervising you to make sure you do it exactly like whatever.
But there is no much land left around the city.
No, I'm saying...
Does it have to be near Kampala? Or?
You see,
and there are all these new cities coming up. Why don't we do that for the new cities?
When you talk about the city, you are already looking at Kampala. Let me tell you, every place can be a city. Because I went to Singapore, do you know why Singapore is called Singapore as a country? And do you know why it is called Singapore as a city? It's because it all looks the same. there is no capital city, because when you move to the corner, up to the corner, up to the corner, it's all the same. The community joining another community, all the facilities are all the same. So that's why it is all Singapore as a capital city and at the same time as a city. Are you understand? So Uganda can as well be one city.
Oh, really?
If all the places are planned very well. I am happy that these other cities have come up.
Yeah, there are over 10, right?
So now, people can go and replicate Akright City in those other cities, which is okay. So it is possible. What I'm trying to say, it is very easy to make it because you have where to benchmark. For us, we had nowhere to benchmark that. So we are in the darkness. It is because we are, I don't know how I can describe, but we are determined. We are so much determined and committed to make sure that we deliver the city. Of course, under pain, we suffered a lot. A lot of pioneering injuries, a lot of mistakes, a lot of what all those happened. There is nothing that it was not a bed of roses. You are getting me? Yes. But the beauty is that we managed to deliver. Okay. It is irreversible. You cannot now stop Akright City.
No, you can't. It's already all built and done.
And that's it. Yeah.
And as we go to one word to the developers, those that were those that have formed communities.
Yes.
You haven't mentioned any challenge coming from people living together. All I have is good.
I want to tell you, when people live as a community, they are more, I would say 90% are only advantages. It's all like, yes, advantages.
Security,
you're
safe, everything.
Security, and also pulling resources together to maintain their places,
the cleanliness and
then at the same time developing together, developing the skills, interacting, and developing their intellectual understanding, intellectual direction.
Yes.
So all those, when they come together, you find them, they are more civilized than the people who stay alone. Because take an example, like for us, when we are having end of the year, all the people that have been the professors, we are all here together. Okay. And each people talk their own English. They speak all the English as you know, whichever is whatever. And all the ideas are powered on the table here. So you find that someone who has come, maybe from whatever, when he reaches here, immediately becomes civilized. And that's why now, here in Akright, everyone is, you can't know that somebody is not educated. Because everybody now has been like educated because of the environment.
Because of living together.
Because living together.
Thank you so much. It's been a very interesting journey. And to our dear viewers, thank you for taking this walk with me around the Akright City project. Mr. Anatoli, my senior in real estate, I highly honor and respect you when it comes to this field. Thank you so much for accepting to come. From Catherine and the rest of the team, see you next time.